Stop scrolling just for 30 seconds. Breathe. If your heart feels heavy, if your prayers feel unanswered, if you have been knocking on doors that refuse to open, listen closely. What you are calling silence is not abandonment. What you are calling delay is not denial. You are standing in the quietest room of your life, but it is not empty. Allah is there, and He is not watching you struggle from a distance. He is inside the struggle, quietly laying bricks you cannot see yet. By the time this message ends, you will understand why this season is not your ending. You will see why every tear, every rejection, every closed door has been measured, weighed, and woven into a masterpiece. Stay with me. Do not look away, because the greatest chapter of your life is not coming. It is already being written, and it needs you to hold on just a little longer. We live in a world that measures worth by visibility. If it is not loud, it is not real. If it is not fast, it is not happening. But Allah has never matched human impatience. When you pray and nothing changes, when you work and the results stall, when you love and it is not returned, the mind plays a cruel trick. It whispers that you have been forgotten. It tells you that your efforts are wasted. It convinces you that if Allah truly cared, the breakthrough would have arrived yesterday. But let me remind you of a truth that will anchor your soul. Allah does not operate on clocks. He operates on calendars of wisdom. What feels like waiting is actually preparation. What feels like stagnation is actually stabilization. You are not stuck. You are being strengthened. The foundation of a towering building is never visible when it is being poured. It happens underground, in the dark, in the quiet. And if you only look at the surface, you will swear nothing is happening. But the engineer knows. The architect knows. And Allah, who designed your life before you drew your first breath, knows exactly what He is doing. He is not late. He is precise. Think about a master builder. Before a single wall rises, there is excavation. Before beauty appears, there is breaking. Before a home shelters you, there is concrete, steel, and time. Allah is the ultimate builder. And right now, He is working on your life with a precision that defies human understanding. He is removing what would collapse under blessing. He is reinforcing what would crack under pressure. He is teaching you how to carry weight before He gives you the crown. This is not punishment. This is preparation. The Quran reminds us that Allah does not burden a soul beyond what it can bear. But it also tells us that He tests those He loves, not to break them, but to build them. Every heartbreak that taught you compassion was a brick. Every failure that stripped your arrogance was mortar. Every night you cried and still made your prayer was steel. You think nothing is happening. But in the unseen, Allah is cataloging your patience. He is measuring your sincerity. He is aligning your character with the destiny He has reserved for you. And when the time comes, He will not just open a door. He will open a horizon. But until then, trust the process. Trust the builder. Because a house built in haste collapses in the first storm. A life built in patience stands for generations. Look at the life of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. Before he carried the message of a lifetime, he spent years in the cave of Hira. Alone, quiet, unseen, no crowds, no applause, just devotion, reflection, and trust. When the revelation finally came, it did not come to a man unprepared. It came to a soul already polished in solitude, already anchored in patience, already trained in reliance on Allah. Look at Prophet Yusuf, peace be upon him, thrown into a well by those who claimed to love him, sold into slavery, falsely accused, forgotten in a prison cell. Years passed, doors stayed shut, yet Allah was not absent. He was arranging, He was positioning. And when the moment arrived, the same prison that buried him became the platform that saved a nation. Look at Prophet Musa, peace be upon him. He fled Egypt with nothing but fear and a walking stick. He spent decades tending sheep in a desert, far from power, far from recognition. But in that quiet, his ego was stripped, his heart was softened, and his dependence on Allah was perfected. When Allah called him back, it was not to a man who relied on his own strength. It was to a servant who knew exactly how to lean on the divine. These are not isolated stories. They are blueprints. Allah does not rush His chosen ones into greatness. He refines them in the unseen so that when they step into the light, they do not bend under its weight. You are walking the same path. The quiet you hate is the training you need. The delay you fear is the protection you deserve. Patience is not passive. It is not sitting in the dark and hoping the light turns on by itself. True patience is active surrender. It is continuing to show up when the results are invisible. It is choosing gratitude when your circumstances scream otherwise. It is speaking hope into your own mind when despair tries to take over. The mind will always try to protect you by lowering your expectations. It will say lower your standards so you will not get hurt. It will say stop hoping so you will not be disappointed. But that is not patience. That is surrender to fear. Islamic patience is different. It is trusting that Allah's plan is kinder than your panic. It is believing that the closed door is not a rejection, but a redirection. It is knowing that the pain you carry today is the strength you will need tomorrow. When you feel like giving up, pause. Ask yourself, what if this is not the end of my story, but the turning point? What if Allah is removing what would distract me, so He can give me what will define me? What if the very thing I am mourning is the thing He is using to make room for my blessing? Patience is not waiting for the storm to pass. It is learning how to stand in the rain without losing your faith. And every time you choose trust over terror, every time you choose prayer over despair, you are proving to yourself that you are ready for what is coming. Allah never leaves us guessing. He gives us signposts in the darkest valleys. Listen to His words translated into the language of comfort. With hardship comes ease. Truly, with hardship comes ease. Notice how He did not say after hardship. He said with it. Ease is not waiting at the end of the tunnel. It is walking beside you in it. It is the breath you take when you thought you would suffocate. It is the sudden clarity in confusion. It is the strength to take one more step. That is ease. And Allah guarantees it, not as a possibility, as a promise. He also tells us that He will surely test you with fear, with loss, with hunger, with the shaking of everything you hold dear. But then He immediately follows it with glad tidings for those who remain patient. The test comes first. The promise comes second. You do not get the breakthrough without the building process. And who receives the glad tidings? Not the flawless, not the untouched, the patient, the ones who keep returning to Allah even when their hands tremble. Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, taught us that the greatest reward walks hand in hand with the greatest trial. When Allah loves a person, He tests them. And whoever accepts that with grace earns His pleasure. This is not about earning love. Love is already there. This is about aligning your heart with it. Trials are not proof of His distance. They are proof of His trust. He only tests what He intends to elevate. And perhaps the most comforting truth of all. When my servants ask about me, I am near. I respond to the one who calls upon me. He did not say, I am near when you are strong. He said, I am near. Period. When you are broken, when you are confused, when your prayers feel heavy, when your tears will not stop, He is near. And His nearness is not passive. It is active. It is shaping you, shielding you, strengthening you, steering you. Knowing the truth is not enough. You must live it. So how do you hold on when your hands are tired? How do you trust when your heart is bruised? Let me give you clear, practical steps that will protect your peace and align your path with divine wisdom. First, stop comparing your behind the scenes to everyone else's highlight reel. What you see online is edited. What you live is real. Your timeline is not late. It is yours. Allah does not copy and paste destinies. He custom crafts them. Guard your heart from comparison. It steals gratitude and breeds despair. Second, turn waiting into worship. You cannot control the timing, but you can control your posture while you wait. Replace scrolling with remembrance. Replace complaining with supplication. Replace isolation with service. When you cannot see the door, polish the hinges. Keep your heart soft. Keep your tongue clean. Keep your prayers consistent. Worship in waiting is the fastest path to divine pleasure. Third, guard your words and your thoughts. What you speak, you summon. What you repeat, you believe. Stop saying, I will never get through this. Start saying, Allah is with me and He does not fail. Stop replaying the past. Start rehearsing the promise. Your words are seeds. Plant hope. Fourth, move, even if it is small. Waiting does not mean freezing. Take one step. Read one page. Make one call. Help one person. Fix one habit. Allah does not bless stagnation. He blesses movement even if it is slow. Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said the most beloved deeds to Allah are the consistent ones, even if they are small. Small steps taken daily outpace giant leaps that fade quickly. Fifth, surrender the pen, but keep writing. You do not need to know the next chapter to write today's lines. Make your daily choices with mindfulness. Be honest, be kind, be diligent, be faithful in your prayer. Trust Allah with the outcome, but do not use trust as an excuse for laziness. Do your part. Leave the rest to Him. That is true reliance. 6, seek community, but do not outsource your faith. You need people who remind you of Allah, not just people who validate your pain. Find those who pray with you, not just those who complain with you. But remember, your ultimate companion is Allah. He never abandons. He never tires. He never misunderstands. There is another layer to this journey that we rarely discuss. It is the quiet purification of intention. When you are in the waiting room of life, your motives are stripped bare. You begin to see why you wanted what you wanted. Was it for status? For validation? For comfort? Or was it for purpose? For service? For closeness to Allah? Allah often delays answers not to punish you, but to purify your why. Because a blessing received with a polluted intention becomes a curse, and a trial endured with a clean intention becomes a ladder. This is why you feel heavy. This is why you feel confused. Allah is not just preparing the situation. He is preparing the soul that will walk into it. He is removing the weight of ego so you can carry the weight of responsibility. He is replacing the hunger for recognition with the hunger for righteousness. And when that shift happens, you will not even recognize yourself. You will wake up one morning and realize that the thing you once begged for no longer holds the same power over you. Not because you stopped caring, but because you started growing. That is the silent miracle of waiting. It does not change your circumstances first. It changes your capacity. Let me share a reality that might save you from years of spiritual exhaustion. You do not need to understand the entire blueprint to trust the builder. You only need to stay in the room where he is working. Too many of us quit right before the mortar sets. We pour our hearts into prayer, into effort, into patience, and when we do not see immediate results, we assume it failed. But spiritual construction does not follow human engineering timelines. Promises are not late, they are layered. He is not just changing your situation. He is changing you to handle the situation. And that takes time. That takes tears. That takes surrender. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, also reminded us that the believer affair is entirely good. If something good happens, he is grateful, and that is good for him. If something difficult happens, he is patient, and that is good for him. Notice he did not say the life is easy. He said it is all good. Why? Because the believer lens is calibrated to divine wisdom, not worldly comfort. The trial is good. The healing is good. The waiting is good. The breakthrough is good. All of it is mercy. All of it is movement. So when you feel stuck, do not ask, why is Allah not responding? Ask, what is Allah building in me while I wait? The answer will change everything. You are probably wondering when you will know it is coming. You will know when the weight shifts from your chest to your shoulders, not as a burden, but as strength. You will know when you stop begging for doors to open and start preparing to walk through them. You will know when your prayer changes from please fix this to please shape me for what is coming. You will know when you look back and realize the very thing that almost broke you was the thing that built you. The greatest chapter does not announce itself with fireworks. It arrives as a quiet realization. I am ready. I have been prepared, and I trust the author. Allah is not rushing. He is refining. He is not delaying. He is designing. He is not silent. He is speaking in the language of trials, tears, and tenacity. And soon, very soon, the pages will turn. The foundation will hold. The structure will rise. And you will stand in the room you once prayed for, not because you forced it open, but because you trusted the one who holds the keys. My dear brother, my dear sister, I do not know your exact pain. I do not know how many nights you have cried into your pillow, how many rejections you have swallowed, how many times you have whispered, Ya Allah, when? But I know this, He hears you, He sees you, He is working for you, and He will never waste a single tear you have shed in sincerity. Hold on. Not with clenched fists, but with open hands. Not with desperate control, but with surrendered trust. Not because the storm is ending, but because the captain is steering. Let me leave you with a prayer you can carry every day. Oh Allah, I ask for your love, the love of those who love you, and the love of deeds that draw me closer to your love. Oh Allah, make your love more beloved to me than myself, my family, and even cool water. And then simply say, Ya Allah, I am still here. I am still trying. I still trust you. Build what I cannot see. Heal what I cannot fix. Open what I cannot reach. And when the time is right, let me walk into the chapter you have been writing all along. You are not late. You are not lost. You are loved. And your greatest chapter, it is already being drafted, quietly, carefully, completely for you. Hold on. He is building it. And soon you will read it with tears of gratitude and say, all praise is due to Allah. Every step was mercy. Every weight was wisdom. Every tear was testimony. And Allah, He never stopped writing.